Okay. Everything that you say will be held against you in your court. There's no more cuts. There's nothing.
No more cuts.
We don't cut.
Starting now, there's no more cuts.
No more
starting a little bit before.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right.
Starting now? Or like in like 2 minutes?
So like
Starting right now. No, it's already started.
It's like
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to? Hey, since you guys, we should have our number one fan.
Oh,
Start us off.
hey, my name's Wesley. I'm the number one fan. Nikki's not on my level. Correct? Right? You gotta
Wait, why are
agree
you
with me.
asking?
You guys gotta agree with me.
No. Start the podcast out. Like how we usually start out the podcast.
BC Pro guys. Yeah.
That's not how we start it?
No, I don't know.
What's up? What's up? Guys?
Some fan you are.
What's up, guys? It's BC
This
Pro.
episode.
Oh, is it 21?
30? No, it's 32,
30.
33.
I thought it was just 20.
What?
Hey,
It's
32,
I thought it was just 20.
30. I thought it was 32.
It's one of those two. Fact check. Anyone? Fact check.
So Nikki might be a bigger fan.
Just start us out. How would you introduce a video? Are you double checking to see which one it is? I think it's 31.
Oh, 32. I thought you guys just
Or 32, yeah.
I think 31 was with AJ, right?
Yep, because we said 52 would be, or 62 would be the time he comes in.
We're on 32.
Okay.
That's
Now
rough.
take the mic, and now act like it's your YouTube channel, but you're named BC Pro. Go ahead.
Okay, my YouTube channel.
Yep, go ahead.
Hey guys, welcome to BC Pro. Hosts, let us come on here. Let's go. Oh, my bad. Yeah, we're just gonna have a nice conversation. Do some podcasting.
Welcome back to BC Procast episode 32.
32.
You might not believe this, but this is 32 weeks in a row.
Crazy.
Crazy.
And we thought this time we'd have a little special, and we would do it outside. Emery, what does it smell like out here?
Fresh air.
Define fresh air.
Yeah, so usually our spots that we rent out was locked. So
And we don't have the key.
guess what's not locked? Outside. Come on.
And
So
it's free.
yes, so we are out here. We're doing our BC Procast, delivering you the best that we can. We have these two guests, lovely guests. Who do we have here?
Wesley Paul now. Let's go. What else do I say?
Yes, sir. And who?
Well, introduce yourself. Okay,
Yeah,
you want to go.
who's that?
My name is Emery Zapata. Woo!
Woo! Woo! All right. Do you guys want to give us a little debrief of who you are and where you are at and where you're from and why?
So I'm from Wisconsin. Why? Because I was born there. And I don't know. I play
Where's
a lot of
Wisconsin
sports.
again?
In America. What do you mean?
How far is it from here?
Being the
3-4 hours.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I play a lot of sports. Play bass for church, hopefully. I do. I don't know why I said hopefully. Yeah, that's kind of me. I have a disabled brother too. Go ahead.
Hi, as I said, my name is Emery. I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, age of 1. Moved to Louisville, Kentucky.
You were born at 0.
What?
You were born at 0.
I was born at 0. Yes, I was born at 0. Thank you. I worked at Chick-fil-A for 2 years. The Lord's Chicken.
Lord's chicken.
Popeyes get on our level. Anyway, and that's a little bit about me. I play a little bit of keys. I intend to be attending CLC College in California this fall.
Wow. And you said you were born where?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, at the age of 0.
The age of 0. Do you think that we should change it to the age of 1?
What do you think?
Well, because we've been alive technically.
Oh, good point.
Well, what are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts on that? That's a great question.
I think he's just giving you answers, dude. Do you know have you guys seen the video where they go, they're like telling a joke, they're like, and then like the fish was swimming and then the alligator jumped out and said, "Give me a burger." And then everyone, they start laughing and he goes, yeah, what does that mean? What did I say? Have you guys seen those?
Yeah.
Because usually some people just laugh. So that's why I thought he was like, yeah,
Yeah,
one, you want. And you're like, why? And he goes,
You want one? It's one.
What the thoughts you want?
I think it should be 1.
I think 0. I think 0 makes sense.
Wait,
if you have like a first birthday, why do you start at 1 if you're gonna have a birthday a year after you're born and be 1? How does that make sense?
So it'd be
Wait,
0.
no, wait,
that makes
what?
sense.
Wait,
So
what?
so you're born, and then a whole year passes, and then you turn 1.
Yeah.
How do
Hey,
you start at 1?
listen, we're gonna help you out here. We're gonna talk about something else, okay?
I don't understand.
We're gonna talk about something else. One thing that was brought up was shoes. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I think if you look at us, we have a lot of different kinds of shoes. So we're going to do a fun question, and then we're going to get to actual topic. But our first fun question is, why are you wearing the shoes, and what's your favorite thing about them? I'll start off. Right now I'm wearing Adidas Sambas, gold, Messi edition. I don't know why I scream that, but if you can see, there's a Messi emblem right here. I love them. Sambas, I can argue, is one of the best shoes in the world to wear every single day. So I love them with all my heart.
I am wearing Vans. I don't know what they are or anything, but I got them at Goodwill, and they're comfortable, so I wear them. That's really all I got. So
What size are those? What size?
there's a 13.
Huge. I am wearing Nike. I have no idea what they're called. I'm wearing them because, 1, they just look nice. 2, they have a cool little story behind them, how I accidentally bought them. And I think they go with my outfit.
Do you want to tell us that story?
Sure, yeah. So if you guys don't know, there's an app. I think it's SNKS. It's basically where you just buy sneakers. Basically, it's kind of like a raffle. You pay for the shoes assuming you get them. You select your shoe size, whatever. You get put in a raffle. You get selected, you get shoes. If you don't get the shoes, your percentage of winning next time increases. So I wanted a pair of shoes. This is like 2 or 3 years ago. I wanted these nice Dunk Low shoes that were amazing. I wanted them so badly. They came out on Thursday. No, when I got these shoes on a Tuesday, I'm like, okay, let's increase these chances. Let's do it, yeah. So, needless to say, I was like, hey, these shoes look nice, whatever. I entered in, and I got these, and I spent a lot of money on shoes I didn't really care for. But yeah, they look good now, so that's that.
Yeah, I actually really like them.
Thank you.
They're amazing. And then I'm wearing a Chelsea boot.
Bougie.
I've gotten this from someone.
Bougie.
Shout out to you know who you are. He's not gonna say it with you. He's not gonna say it with you.
I wasn't thinking he was.
You
gonna
kept
say it
saying
with me.
bougie.
No, I
No,
wasn't-
don't say it. No, you're supposed to be on my side.
See?
Okay. They're Chelsea boots. I was gifted them, so I did not spend money on them. And I'm wearing them because I think they look pretty darn nice. And thank you, Emery. And it makes me taller. Makes me taller.
That's a great reason to wear shoes. That's actually a reason why I wear all my shoes. So here's what we're talking about today, so we can fuel the curiosity. We are all kind of at different stages of life, at different places, different ages. And I was thinking, we can talk about like our stages of life, but there's not much to say when you're talking about your career, you're talking about college, or you're talking about going to college, and then you're talking about finishing up high school. So I was thinking about a thing that would probably be better to talk about, that'd be cool, is us being at different stages of life while in ministry. Does that make sense? So so the thoughts I want you guys to start thinking about for us to ask you these questions is, think about at your age what you're doing currently now, maybe some goals that you have for ministry in church, maybe some things that you've learned or what you've had to do to prepare for the ministry that you're currently in or ministry that you will then be in, and maybe talk about the stage of life that you're in, or being in high school or going to a college or being currently in college or being in your career. I'm kind of wanting us to dwell there and kind of talk about aspirations or current systems that are in place while we're in ministry. Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
Sounds
All right.
great.
We're thinking right now. So I'll start off, just kind of talk about me, so you guys have some time to think. If you can think of any questions that could help out for them, that'd be great. So currently, I just finished my first year of teaching, which I'm very excited about, very happy about. It was a blast. But while I was doing that, right now I serve in ministry in just a couple different avenues. And one thing I found is that, as now making myself older, I got to really work on how I'm portrayed. And maybe it's time, I think it's always good to have fun and be funny. But I think it's good to now start maybe looking for people that I can maybe work with or talk to, or maybe mentor, or even look for opportunity to be mentored by someone older than me. Yeah.
That's actually great. I think being in ministry. So I'm in college right now. I'm finishing up my senior year, to get my bachelor's degree. And what my stage of life has taught me is ministry is sacrifice. So I've learned that there's going to be a lot of opportunities that you're going to get. There's going to be a lot of things that God is going to call you to do. And they're not easy. Sometimes you're going to have a test. Like, for example, one time I had a test, an exam, and then I got to play for a night of worship. And I was unbelievably stressed. But in that moment, God has taught me every single time I felt super stressed that this is an opportunity. And this is an opportunity where I'm using you. And I've been very thankful, because I think there's a lot of blessings and a lot of gifts that you get when you are in ministry and when you are making that sacrifice. And I learned that in the end, it's all worth it. So I think it's taught me that ministry is sacrificing your time, your energy, sacrificing what you need to get done. But it's seriously worth it. I'm so thankful for every time. I was praying today, and I was like, God, I don't understand how or why, but thank you. Thank you for everything they've done.
Yeah, so thank you. So Wesley, you are in the middle of the age group for youth, and you've just recently started getting the opportunity to play the bass, which is amazing at, and also guitar. I've heard you play a little bit on Sundays. What's your thoughts on being at a youth level, but now starting to get the responsibility of playing on Sunday mornings? I'm not trying to make it seem like it's the thing, but you're no longer at youth events or whatever, but it comes to Sunday mornings. It's you have the responsibility of getting there on time, learning the music, being on top of all the chord charts, and just working well with the band, and also being able to be used by God while up on the platform during Sunday service. What's your thought about being at youth age and starting to gain responsibility of being on the platform playing bass on Sundays?
I kind of feel like it's definitely a bigger responsibility, but also in the same sense it's something I really enjoy, and it doesn't weigh on me like a responsibility or a burden to do. It's something I get to do, to use any skill or talent God has given me, just to give back, I guess you could say. And there's definitely times where it's stressful. Let's start on the wrong note or go from there. But it's all really just been a blessing. And I see the way that making the sacrifices in ministry affect my life in different ways, with different blessings that come through and a whole bunch of other different things. But I think that answers the question.
Yeah,
kind of.
Perfect.
Okay.
And Emery, you recently just moved to here in Montana, right?
Yeah.
And what did you used to do? And where did you used to live?
I used to live in Louisville, Kentucky. Lived there for about 19 years.
Oh goodness,
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, KFC, yes,
KFC.
So what did you used to do at your church?
My old church, I did a little bit of it all. So I did media for about 4 years. That was interesting. I loved it. So I did that for 4 years. I did kids' church for 2 years. I did our VBS games. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. I greeted every once in a while whenever needed. I did. I was technically a part of the praise team. Kind of on the back end, kind of just working on my skill of piano keys. Kind of getting familiar with working with a band, that kind of thing. That's kind of summarizing what I used to do. I did obviously chairs, little stuff here and there. Those were kind of like my main 3 right there.
And so you did all of that, and then you were working, or were you in college?
I was working, yeah. So at the age of 16, I was blessed and fortunate enough to work at Chick-fil-A for 2 years. Funny enough about that, actually, my interview, I prepared 6 questions. I kid you not, 6 questions. Not 7, not 5, 6 questions. During my interview, they asked me only those 6 questions.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty cool. Word for word, exactly. That was pretty cool. I worked there for almost 2 years. I worked at a bank for about 8 months. Then I worked at a security company for tech support. I worked there for a year. Funny story, that same building I worked in was the same building my dad transferred down to Kentucky to start.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And so so it sounds like you did a lot for your church.
Yeah.
And you did a lot outside. Were you working quite a bit?
Oh yeah. I full-time job, and so my week in Kentucky sounded like 9 to 5 job every single day. Then on Wednesdays we had church at 7. Sometimes I had to be there like at 6:30 for media. On Thursday we had practice at like 6. Fridays we had youth. So my week was work to church basically every single day, except for maybe Mondays and Saturdays.
And what have you learned, or what have you experienced through your ministry and stuff like that?
You know, obviously, ministry can be kind of daunting. Like, oh my gosh, kind of like what you're saying. I don't. Sometimes I thought I have to do this. Oh, I don't. Oh, it's one of those things like, oh, I have media tomorrow. I have to do media tomorrow. I have to do band. I have to do this. I have to do that. But no, it's a gift. It's a blessing that God gives you, and it kind of just over time it changes your perspective on things, because the more you become more thankful of what you have. Like, for example, one day on media, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I was burnt out. There's been a rough media period for a lot of our people in our media group. And the moment you begin to change your perspective on things, say like, hey, I'm thankful I am able to do this ministry. I'm thankful that I have this team around me. I'm thankful for this church. The more that you begin to change your perspective. So throughout ministry, obviously, sometimes it can be kind of daunting, but it kind of changes your perspective on, I'm doing this for God, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for the people around me. And the way that you can change your perspective, that's kind of, I've learned a lot from my ministry.
Wow.
And now you're in North Carolina, and you're going to be going to a college all the way across the country in California.
Yeah.
And you're a very family-oriented guy.
I am.
So what has led you to the place of like, hey, listen, I'm going to be moving across the country to a Bible college when you were working full-time? Why have you chosen, first of all, a Bible college all the way across the country when you love your family?
Right.
And then also, you're family-oriented. You like to be around them. And then also, like, what are you planning on getting out of that college experience? Like, what are you trying to grow there? What are you trying to learn there?
Great question. So kind of answer your first question about why I'm going to CLC, college in California, right? Great question. Because growing up, I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know CLC was a place. I didn't know what it was. I've heard of IBC and Urshan. It was kind of the big two right there, right? Shout out to Nikki. Anyway.
No. No.
I'm sorry. Well, to be fair, you butchered the intro, so I mean.
That's a great point. But I mean, you can't just shout out Nikki. That's not okay.
Sorry.
It's not.
You're right.
So I didn't know this was a thing. So I've told you guys a little bit about this experience I had with a while back and how I came across it, but I haven't gone into a lot of detail about it. So a while back, I had a dream, right? This dream, I haven't told you about the dream actually. I told you about the experience. So one night, I'm working at my security job, right? It's a typical day. I have work in the morning, whatever. And I'm dreaming. In this dream, I'm in this room. Without going into too much detail, I'm in this room, and basically, people are being drafted to war, right? And they say, "Hey, Emery Zapata, you're being drafted." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." People are celebrating. Yeah, Emery's being drafted. Ooh, I'm like, "No, I don't go to war. Are you crazy?" And I'm just like, okay. But I'm not bummed about it. I'm not excited. It's kind of one of those gray areas. So now I hear people getting drafted here and there, and people kind of got to play. You know, when you're like in high school, there's like plays and whatnot, and you're like, oh, have I been selected for this part? It was like that. But I was like, I don't want to go to war. So then time goes on, and I'm suddenly in this like war room. Like you've seen like a war room, like an army war room. We're at this table. And in this table, they're giving out assignments, right? So someone gets drafted to I think it was like Florida, and then they give me my card. Okay, where are you being drafted to? It says California. So I'm like, okay. Dream ends, I wake up. So now I wake up, I'm like, oh, it's 6 a.m. I have another hour of sleep. Go back to sleep, wake up, I'm getting ready for work, right? I'm doing my hair, brush my teeth, do what I gotta do. While I'm doing this, I'm praying to God. I'm like, God, what does that dream mean? Because I'm a believer that dreams mean something, kind of like Joseph. Like, the dreams mean something. Most of the time. And I began to pray, and God was like, you're going to California. I was like, nah, that's me. That ain't God, that's me, right? That's me. And then I go to work, I come back, and this is where it gets crazy. So then I tell my mom most of my dreams. My mom, most of my dreams. Love her to death. I sit down on the couch with her. My sister's doing who knows what. Dad's doing who knows what. Just me and her on the couch. And I say, hey, Mom, can I tell you my dream? She goes, yeah. So then I tell her my dream, and I say, I was drafted to California. Starts bawling, crying. Now, I'm like, are you okay? Did I say something? She goes, yes, you just confirmed something that God told me earlier today. That same night, my sister had a dream. My sister had a dream that it was me. Also, first it was her and Chase. You guys know Chase. Her boyfriend in a store. And I walk in with a Latina, which is my girlfriend at the time. And then, so that's kind of the dream that I remember. And then, well, that I've been told. So then my mom says to God, like, God, where's everyone to find out a Latina like that? I'm like, what do you mean? And then she goes, then God says to her, in California. And she says the same thing to God. Nah, that's just me. That's like, God, this is me. It's just my fear, anxiety. That's me, right? So then we had that moment where it was like, that's God. That's God. And that's kind of how I kind of came to California. I went to Experience, great move of God, I love it. If you ever have a chance to go to Experience Week, recommend it. Change your life, change mine for sure. Kind of going to your next question, what do I expect to get out of it? I plan to go for a bachelor's in music. I love music, loved it with a passion. I can talk about that for a while. But my goal is to, one, make connections, meet new people. I want to be able to put myself in the next level with God. I want to be able to play keys as if like I were playing in front of God. I want to be able to play like for God, not just like, hey, I'm playing keys for the church. Like I think you do a great job at this. Like you both. I haven't seen you play yet, but I'm sure you do too. But like you play with your great talent, but you play for God. Like you do these music instruments because like, hey, we need a drummer. Hey, we need a keys player. We need a bass guitar player. But we also do it because we serve a mighty God, and you've given us this talent and this time to put into this art, and we deserve to give it to you. So by going to college, I want to be able to magnify that talent that God's given me, and just alter it into where I can just and just broaden it to however way God has it in store. Like be like a music minister. I've thought about writing music. So whatever God has in store, that's kind of what I want to do. But obviously, it's all about what God wants. Granted, right now, that's the plan. That's why I feel in my heart. Kind of going off what Caeden said earlier about sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice some things. I expect nothing less when I go to California. But also off that topic, I think obedience is better than sacrifice.
Right.
So I think by going here, first off, being away from my family, being a family guy, kind of just going away from that, being obedience, I'm also going to have to sacrifice some things, but I think obedience is going to be something that I also have to work on more, including sacrifice.
Wow, that is very, very good. Thanks for sharing. It's crazy to see how God can definitely speak to multiple people to confirm what He has for you,
Yeah.
and then now it's putting into action where you're here in southern Georgia, and then soon you're going to be going to California.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, like speak about a walk of faith and a leap, and just like completely knowing that God has you in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Wes, have you ever had a moment where God may have told you something and you're like, what? That's crazy.
I think I don't know. That's like one of those hard things to like really determine. But I mentioned earlier, my brother's in a wheelchair. He has a cerebral palsy, and so he can't walk or talk, but he understands everything. He's not like, no, I can't say that. He's not like slow or anything. He understands. He just can't communicate or really move, to help show that he understands. And I think when I must have been 7 or 8 or 9, I had a dream where I saw my brother, who's never been out of a wheelchair. He's always had cerebral palsy, and he was standing up and walking, and he shouted my name and said, "Hey, let's go." And I saw him and I was like, "What?" And then the dream ended. And I think he was about 11, and he's 13 now, still in a chair, but I don't know, maybe I was wrong on the age, but like I've had a few dreams like that, or even back to the music thing, I've had dreams where I play at really big events and things like junior, senior camp and stuff. I've always before I was even into music, I was always like, man, I wish I could play here sometime. Like, just knowing that I wanted to get into music, I was like, that'd be such a cool experience,
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I've remembered that dream about Levi, my brother, for quite a while. And I've had so many other people say they've had like the same dream where they hear Levi saying, "Hey, let's go, come on," or like he's rushing us this time instead of us saying, "Hurry up," But
And you said you had these dreams. You had the dreams of playing at like those
Just
congresses and stuff
yeah.
like that. What do you still hold on? What do you still go, God is still God, and I know that someday that this will happen?
Honestly, I don't really think about it like that. The way that I was thinking about it is the more I practice and the more I devote my time to God and the instrument itself and go through life, even as busy as I am, and I put aside time for this, I think God will work it out in His will. Because it could have just been a 10-year-old me being like, wow, I want to be on the platform, I want to do it. But if it really was from God, then if I put in the work, He'll make it happen. And I just have to be patient and wait for His timing and put my skill where it needs to be able to do that, And I think that's what I have for that. So
What do you guys, I'm just curious now, what do you guys think, because you said obedience is better than sacrifice, which I 100% agree with you, and I'm so glad you said that. What does it mean to just completely obey God, no matter what the circumstances may look like, no matter what's going on in the world? What does it mean to you to obey God?
I think for me personally, it's to kind of just put my head down and keep working on what I'm doing. If I do something right and God says, "Hey, this is good, keep doing it," and even if I don't see it, or even if it's not good and I'm struggling, like maybe with work or with my brother or something, you say, "Hey, keep going, there's a bigger lesson," or there's something you don't see right now.
Right.
Then I'd put my head down and just keep working on it, because I know God will eventually work it out in His will, and it won't be on my timing. So
Sure.
I guess I should make that sacrifice and be obedient as well.
What's crazy that you literally just said that is this morning, I remember I was super stressed out. I was like, oh my goodness. Because some people were like, hey, we can't make it to the thing or whatever. And I was like, oh, so it's just Braedon and I that are doing these things. But I remember distinctly where I was. I was in the corner of my room and I was about to grab a shirt. And I was like, God, what in the world is going on? What in the world? This is my first time stepping out of my comfort zone of this kind of situation. Why in the world would all of this stuff happen where people aren't available? And God reminded me that He has not failed. Mm-hmm. And He reminded me that in moments where I felt this exact same feeling, that He did not leave me. He did not leave me stranded. He had always a plan. He always knew what was going on. And this morning, as we were having our men's breakfast and everything was going on, God reminded me when we were praying, He said, I told you, I have it under control. So when you said that, I was like, my goodness, that's crazy.
That's really good. And kind of piggyback off of what you guys are saying, just God's will, not my will. You know, every day when I used to work back in Kentucky, every single day I would pray like, hey, you know, God, just allow your will to be done. Not my will, because in reality, it's not about what I want. It's in your path, your plan, your perfect will. Like, who am I to say right and wrong? Who am I to say?
If I can just interrupt,
Yeah, go.
on, you said it's not what I want, it's
Yeah.
what you want. There's plenty of times where like he has me on guitar or something, and I don't like guitar that much. That's just all it is. And God gave me a talent for it and a love for it at one point in my life, and I still will serve Him through it, even if it's like kind of just a dread, and like I don't know it as well as bass, so it's more stressful to learn with work and school and all of that. But while I was up there doing it, I was nervous, I was sweating, just trying to get it done. And I realized how God kind of took control in the moment, and I was like, oh, this isn't that bad anymore, you know? And just like He'll let you believe you don't want to do this, and then as soon as you do it, you really feel like God's peace, I'd say.
Yeah.
He lets you calm down in the moment when you trusted Him through that
Exactly.
practice period, I guess, you know?
Yeah,
Something
sure.
like that.
That's good. I kind of like a kind of story, kind of like that, kind of, but not like that, but kind of, you know, something like that, you know. A while back, so getting the job, my most recent job in technical support, I didn't want to do it. I didn't. Last year was the year of Emory. I was going to travel. I had like lots of money. So it was the year of Emory, right? I was like, I quit my bank job, you know, year of Emory, me. And then this job all opened up, and it approached me like I know like the building manager, and he approached me like, hey, do you want this job? And I said, well, let me think about it, because in this line of work, I had no idea. I had no experience. I never envisioned myself in a cubicle. I never envisioned myself on the phones. I envisioned myself kind of like out and about doing stuff that I liked and had, you know, somewhat familiar. I was familiar with. And I was like, God, what do you want me to do? Because in reality, is whenever in doubt, just go to God. And I said, God, what do you want me to do? He said, take the job. I go, okay. I applied. I got the job. Whatever. I was there for over a year. During that time there, I picked up the job pretty well. It took me a little bit, but I got it eventually. But once I got comfortable, I was able to walk the floor, and I was able to witness to people around me. Yeah. Like no one there. People I've experienced in church that left church, or the atheists. Like no one that even believe in God. And I was able to witness them, not even just like shoving God down their throat, just be like, hey, you know, like just being a good light to them, being a light to my coworkers, being better at making them laugh in a clean way. That's just being like, hey, I'm here. Like, hey, do you need anything? Are you good? Like, just being there for them. People come up to me like, hey, you're different, and I'd be like, yeah, you know, let me tell you why. I was able to reach out to these people, and I'm still able to. They still text me. They still reach out to me. I'm still in contact with a lot of them. So I kind of going back to like just being in God's plan, not me. Like, hey, I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm going to do it because it's what you want me to do.
Wow. So, this both of those things just brought up this idea of, because you're uncomfortable, right? You're taking the step, and like everyone is going one way, and you're like, no, God called me this other way. So, Wesley, you're in high school right now, right? And so you have teammates. You're homeschooled, correct?
Yeah, homeschooled.
But you get that interaction through like sports and stuff like that.
I play sports multiple.
And you have a group of people that you're surrounded around in that. So, is it a church
no,
or?
It's a Christian league, but not everyone's that serious about it. You know,
So with going through that and seeing that and being not influenced, but being just surrounded in that environment, what makes you go, their way's not right?
The big one is a lot of the language that's used in sports, and a lot of it is emotion. You feel angry, or you feel in pain, or you know, something that go on, and you can understand that. That's a human reaction, right? But you know, just the words they say or the jokes they make, or you know, whatever it might be. It used to be something that I fit in with when I was not so serious about God and not like, I thought it was, whatever. I go to church on Sunday kind of thing.
Yeah.
And recently, a couple of years ago, I started getting more serious about it. And I'm hearing the things they say, and I'm like, that's just not right. Like, you can't say that. And I see the difference in, say, their lives and my life, where we both are going through things. I have my brother, and they have maybe another sibling that's disabled or whatever it may be. And they're struggling with it, and I feel like I'm not. Mm-hmm. Like, it feels like I trusted God with my situation, and they don't. And then it puts all that emotion that they let out, say, on a basketball court, and they're saying things they shouldn't, or making bad jokes, or just having an attitude with people that they should respect, or, anything that goes along with that.
Wow.
So I think that's...
And you said a couple years ago you started taking it more seriously.
Yeah.
What was the moment or the...
Actually, it's a pretty cool story, but I suffered from chronic knee pain for like maybe 7 or 8 years since I was young. It's just always been bad. And I think it has something to do with my feet, actually. But
Wait, do you want to show them your feet real quick?
Not really. That's weird.
Show them that one. Show them that one. So take it off. So we just found out
He just
Wesley
wants me to reveal now.
Wesley has flat
I got
feet.
flat
He's
feet.
got the flattest feet ever.
And I hear about it a lot, apparently. But I just... Wait. I had chronic knee pain for 7 or 8 years just growing up. And I went to a junior camp, and like it was to the point where I had to wear like inserts and knee braces like constantly because it was just painful. And I went to a junior camp, and I was sitting there angry because I couldn't jump in the service. I felt restricted, like it hurt too bad, I couldn't do it. And one of the guys came down there, and like he came off the platform, and he said, "Hey, what's going on?" Because he could see me like sitting there angry. And just at that time, the pastor was talking about like a healing and how God can do anything no matter what your age is. And we might have been 10, so it was pretty basic. But like a few people gathered around me, and we prayed and prayed and prayed, and I felt like I don't know, it felt like getting zapped by an outlet. Like, if you know what that feels like, where it's just like your body just kind of reset for a second, and it was like a warm feeling, and it started like from my knee, and it went like through my body, and then I stood up realizing, oh my gosh, like what just happened? Like, did I just get healed? And and I did, and my knee pain has like never come back like as bad as it has been, and no injuries or anything like that. But the thing that goes along with that is I look at my brother, who's never walked or never talked like fluently or anything, and I say, why did I get that? I have all these things that are fine. I could live with some knee pain. He can't even move. Like, why do I get the healing? And I think that goes back to trusting God's will and seeing how it goes, because that's like a whole story. Jeez. But I mean, I think that's when I started taking it seriously. I was like, oh, this is real. And it was always my parents' God, and then I made it mine probably that weekend. So it was cool.
Wow, that's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Do you have something to say?
No, I'm just astounded that the depth that we're talking, and like we're actually talking about like faith movements and how God has gone through and made a way in every way. Nikki, shout out Nikki. She was doing a lesson the other night, and she's like, I have a joke. Can I open up with a joke? And we're like, yeah, let's do it. And she goes, she heard it from someone, but she goes, all right, look at someone next to you, poke them in the eyes, and say, you walk by faith, not by sight. Get it? You poke them in the eyes, it hurts. Anyway. So, no, but saying that, it makes me realize that all these stories that you guys are sharing, you guys have walked in faith. Like, you guys have let God lead you when you guys had no idea what's going on. And there's a lot of people in life, I think we got all attest to it. In fact, thinking about it, I feel like everyone is constantly walking with this faith that it's going to get better, or things are going to be healed, or God's going to come through, or it's just going to make sense.
Yeah.
And we're all on this path together of like, God, let me fall into your arms and you carry me to where I need to go.
Right.
And it's so cool because you guys are giving true testimonies, like true testimonial stories about what God has done in your life, and how yet there's been miracles that has happened, but yet you guys aren't even at the part that you guys want to get to.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's good.
Like, you know, your brother being healed. Like, you're already experiencing miracles that are happening now, and you're not even at the end game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then for you, like, you're having things happening, outreaching to people, all this stuff, and you're not even at the college.
Right.
And it's so cool to be here witnessing. I feel like I should be behind the camera watching. I was just over here, like, just taken back about the stories and, like, the willingness you guys are willingness to open and share, like, what God has done in your life. And I think those things that you guys are talking about are faith builders. And a lot of people, they have a lack of faith. And to give people more opportunity, have their faith built up so they can then continue on powering through and understanding that God's there for them and he loves them and that he will never part away, that's good. And another thing, a lot of people think, I've accepted Jesus in my life. I love him. I'm filled with the Holy Spirit, been baptized in Jesus' name. Everything in my life is going to be great. That's not true. Having God in your life, that means when you're going through the hard times, you have him.
Right.
There's people that go through the scum of things that can happen.
Yeah.
Like literally living life as it would be in hell.
Yeah.
And they don't have God.
Yeah.
Like, to be in a situation where you guys both have brothers that have some things.
Yeah.
And to be in a spot where you have God to lean on, to help, that brings hope, that can give you faith that it will be better in the end, that everything will work out, that's why God's there. Because this life is not easy. He's given us free will as a choice
Yeah.
to choose him, to love him. But that means free will happens. That means things happen, bad things happen. But you have to understand that you have a God that's there for you, though, through those times.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of going off, but honestly, you guys should keep it going because I want to say thank you for sharing that, because not only like the people that will be watching this, but for me and myself and Caeden, I know that we're like, what? Like we've known you for how long and we didn't know like this? But it's so inspiring, and it builds my faith to hear the stories that you guys have.
Mm-hmm. And Emery, so did you go to public school?
No.
You were in homeschool?
Homeschooled and private.
Okay. Private school?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And was it a church-like school?
Kind of like his, kind of like off and on. It was kind of like, hey, it was Christian, but like, you probably shouldn't be saying that or doing that. Yeah.
So you are one of the most bubbly people I've ever met in my entire life. You're just always having a smile. You always can make me smile, and you don't even say jokes sometimes. And I'm just like, dude, this guy's amazing. Like I could just laugh with you, and you are very funny. So, first of all, where do you get that from?
Honestly, I don't know. I think it's just I've changed a lot over the years. I'll say this. Yeah. When I was younger, I was very quiet. Like very quiet. Like you guys wouldn't know this, but like from like an age of like very young to like 14, I didn't talk. I was very private. I was very much too scared of people seeing like he's kind of weird. You know, that's kind of a mentality when you're a kid, when you're a young teen, or even a teenager. It's kind of like you're worried about perception. And it was a very dark time in my life because I didn't feel like I can be who I was. So to answer your question, how did I become so bubbly? I don't even know. I like to think that it's just God and just God's spirit in me that's kind of just like, hey, and all the things I've been through. My perspective has changed so much throughout my life, throughout the rough. He's my little brother he's very much on the spectrum. So he's nonverbal. He's very reliant on us. Lots of trials with that. Like just personal stuff with like work, school. I had a rough job at one point. I was going through a lot of stuff like that. But through perception, I think comes my spirit, just because when we begin to thank God, our view becomes changed. an exercise that I try to do whenever I'm angry. Like, say, Braedon tripped me the other day, like on purpose, like, haha, you fell. It happened, by the way. Joking. I'm joking, I swear.
Do you
no.
burn?
What? Okay, no. Okay, no. Skip. But a little exercise I try to do is just, for every one thing that makes you angry, list 3 things you're thankful for every single time. So if you're mad about multiple things or upset, 3 things every single time. It changes the way you view things, and you have no reason to be upset. Right. You have no reason to be frowning, because obviously we all go through things. We all have bad days. But there's no reason why we should be taking out on others, especially when we're trying to be a light to the world around us. So I try to come into the mentality of, hey, my goal within every conversation is to make someone smile. Also part of my morning prayer at work. I said to God, hey, your will be done, and allow me to make someone's day. Allow me to make someone smile, make someone laugh. And that challenge always reset after every conversation, always. I think obviously Chick-fil-A had something to do with my personality also.
Yeah, I think
it's a big one.
Perfect Chick-fil-A.
He actually won.
My pleasure for us.
Absolutely, it'd be my pleasure.
Dude,
He's got it.
he's got it down.
That's Riz, dude. No, didn't you win staff of the year or something like that?
I won for my location Chick-fil-A drive-thru worker of the year in 2021.
The year? What do you get?
So I got a little plaque. I'll show you guys one
A
day.
$5 gift card for sure.
Actually, it was 15.
Oh.
To Target. I just used the other day. Yeah, I lost it. But yeah, that was a great experience. I wasn't expecting that. It was cool because it was all voted upon by your coworkers too. So my coworkers voted for me for that.
Wow.
And I was runner-up for Mr. Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
Wow.
Man, I'm kind of bummed you didn't get it, dude. That's a title, bro. That's a flex.
Yeah.
Mr. Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, yeah. I also took over in my 2 years of Chick-fil-A. I round up. It was like 23 months, but round up. In my 2 years, I took over, I forgot how I got the math, but I took over 100,000 orders in the drive-thru.
Oh my goodness.
I'm calling you Mr. Chick-fil-A.
Mr. Chick-fil-A.
Okay, on average, do you ever get tipped? Like, because there's people that stand out there, right?
Yeah.
Do people ever tip you for that or no?
So-
Just like not at all.
Fun fact, you're actually not supposed to accept the tip. But,
Oh no.
But-
This is how
But-
you get Mr. Chick-fil-A.
no,
Oh.
I accepted the tip.
He's got some praying.
No, I got a tip. No, so the courtesy thing, because Chick-fil-A, you're like courtesy. You're like, oh, no tip. No, I insist. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll take the tip. The biggest tip I ever got was $50.
Dang. For
Mr.
what?
Chick-fil-A
What did you get
over here.
$50 for?
I brung out an order to someone. And then I've gotten 3 $20 tips in the drive-thru.
Oh my goodness.
That's one
You work at Chick-fil-A.
That was more than my week's salary. That was part-time. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, tip. That was nice.
I have a question for you guys. Actually, this is a question for you too, Bray. So, you're in ministry, right? You're doing your thing. We're talking about sacrifice. We're talking about using our gifts, using our talents, like spending our time on what God has called us to do. What is the way that you guys fill your cup? Because you're pouring it, you're playing bass, you're speaking to people, you're constantly speaking to people's lives, you're greeting, you're always having to have a smile on you, you're playing drums every Sunday, you're now singing, absolutely amazing. So what is a way that you guys fill your guys' cup to make sure that you're able to pour into other people?
I think for me, it's like, I really like helping other people out.
Yeah.
But only if I do it. Like, if somebody asks me to do it, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
But, like, if I want to go help somebody, I really enjoy that if I can. And I think that fills my cup, I guess. Like, if I see somebody struggling to maybe carry a load of chairs or even just hold open a door for a second,
Yeah.
then I'd love to run up and go grab the door for the guy. And that, I don't know, does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure.
I feel like that act kind of helps me feel better about everything that's going on, I guess. Everybody that knows me knows I don't know how to talk well.
No.
So, like, I don't
No,
know if this makes sense. But
No, it does, because your love language sounds like it's acts of service.
Yeah, like-
so it sounds like when you do that, it's not really giving you things. because you're obviously spending energy,
Yeah.
but it's also like giving you that feeling
It
of.
makes me feel like I help people enough where I can go and, I don't know, help more, but
Yeah.
like in a different way, you know, like,
No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. So me, I think kind of going back to the whole Chick-fil-A thing. I think my thing, the way I get fed, is I think the cliche answer is like reading your Bible and praying. But if I wanted to kind of be a little more creative,
Well, I gotta change my answer now. So.
right? No, it would genuinely have to be just trying to make people's day. Like, you understand, like when I make someone laugh, I make someone smile. Like, I might be running on E trying to get that laugh or that reaction, but at the moment someone laughs, or like you can tell that I uplifted their day, like at Chick-fil-A. When you're in the heat, like
Oh, yeah.
90-degree weather, 80-degree weather, or even like below freezing, like you are drained constantly. And by me trying to make people's day, and you can tell people come in sad, weighed down by the things of the world, and you just go up there and you make them laugh just once, time, like even a scoff, just anything. It truly just gives me a reason to keep going.
Wow.
And that's kind of how I try to do that, whether that be at work or around you guys or whatever.
I asked the question, Bray.
You have to answer.
I will after you.
All right,
go.
give me your thought. I just still need to think.
Do you still need to think?
No, but I want to hear yours.
Oh my goodness. So, I think one way that I've been recently filling my cup constantly is the name Jesus has really been resonating with me. Just, I have no idea why. Obviously, it's God's name, but it just, the song by Braedon Young, Jesus, your name is power, your name is...
Oh, yeah, yo, don't get us copyrighted, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It sounded just like
So it talks...
You can't get copyrighted if you're not monetized. It's fine.
Hey, yo.
Take that back.
I'm sorry.
Nikki wouldn't have said that to us.
No.
We don't mention her
Think
name.
about that stuff. I'm just on your side. I'm
Technically,
saying
copyright's
you
only
can say
40
what
seconds.
you want. So, because you're not even monetized yet. Yet.
Yes.
That's true.
That's true. That's
Shout
true.
out
You just
Nikki.
saved yourself. Shout out, Nikki.
I'm leaving.
Okay, so...
Our first walk off.
So I just really been like resonated by the name Jesus, and I recently have just been playing worship music, and I'll pray, but then I'll just sit, just like thinking about God and His beauty, or like just looking out in nature. Like we have our first outdoor podcast, and around you just see God's beauty and His nature and how everything is so perfectly made. Like
Nice
that's a
view of the
tree
cars.
right there, man. Like that's a tree.
There's not a tree there, everyone.
No, there is a tree.
There's not a tree. He's pointing at a cinder block.
No, there's a tree
Tower.
right there. But it's just crazy to think that God has created such things in such beauty and in perfect nature. I get blown away. So when I think about that, I think about how powerful God is. I go, I'm full. I can go do anything now.
So I was told my way I get filled up is stupid.
Nah, I didn't.
Reading the Bible.
Well,
and
because we
praying.
like the baseline that we do.
What's the problem with it being in the baseline?
Is that all you do?
Well, I have more to say.
Okay,
I'm
that's
saying,
the thing.
I'm saying.
Our baseline is we pray.
No,
and we read His word.
I think there's a lot of power in prayer and reading your Bible. It's good. Great way to build a relationship and get to know your God. Along with that, even though that is sufficient, one thing that really just makes me feel empowered, and makes me feel like in God's will and like just overwhelming love poured onto me is when I get to witness God changing lives. And when people like come to a point of giving their life to God or having breakthroughs or putting away any addictions or conquering afflictions through God's power, that just I'm like, like he's real. You know what I mean? Like you always know he's real, but then you're like, dude, now you know he's real.
Yeah.
You know? So it's very, very cool. That's what gets me going. If I'm playing at the drums and I can see out that someone's just absolutely having a moment with God that they haven't experienced in a while, or if you see other people using the talents and gifts that God's given them for others, that just, that's all I need, along with praying and
Experience someone else's
My
like
God.
breakthrough is a way that you just go, man.
I don't know, like
God is just so good.
God's changed all of our lives and impact us and give us miracles. So we have testimonies of what it is.
Mhm.
And then we see it happen to someone, we know how it feels. It can take you right back to that time. And then also you know that their life is forever changed. If they continue down that path and let God take the lead, like, that's someone going to heaven. That's someone that has a relationship with God.
Yeah, for sure. I'm curious because you kind of bring it up. It's like seeing miracles and seeing these things. What is, I guess, kind of take over for 1 second. All of you guys, what is like the craziest thing you kind of shared yours, but like, what is the craziest thing you've seen? Like, whether that be someone else's experience, like someone getting healed, or something maybe even private, like you saw an angel, or what is the craziest thing like you've been able to witness, whether on a platform, in a prayer closet? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the craziest thing you've been able to witness? Like, or even on a platform, just drumming.
Yeah. So I'm going to share 2 ones. One is a time where I was going through some like heart things, not physically, but I had situations where I had just felt like contempt towards people. And then I went to youth congress, and we did this whole like shouting thing of like you shout out what you're dealing with. And in that moment, after I shouted out after this powerful prayer session, like that contempt went away. Like I had no problem with these people at all. That was confirmed. But one thing I was thinking about today a little bit as you were talking about your knee, there was a time where I was at one of the camps and this story left my mind, but I used to talk about it often when I talked about faith. I was at camp. I was by myself. I think I just finished playing drums or whatever. And we were talking about praying for people. And there's going to be healings. And so they're like, raise your hand if you need a healing. And I'm like looking around and someone raises their hand and I see them. And like the power of God, we've already been praying a little bit. And I didn't know if I should go pray or not. And I'm like looking at them. I'm like, I should go pray. I'm like, I don't know. And there's like a bunch of guys, I'm not a bad guy. There was like obstacles to get to pray with him. It wasn't like he was right next to me to put my hand. But there's a bunch of pews and like other people, and you know, I don't know if I had to go do something shortly or whatever. But like it was really eating at me. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. So I go over there and I just feel this empowering of faith that this man is gonna be healed. He had like something wrong with like his leg. He's like in crutches. I don't know if it was like a sprain or something like that, but come over and just. In the name of Jesus, feeling the power of God coursing through me, all that stuff. And I finish, and then I come back over, and I'm looking, and, you know, he still has the crutches or whatever, and I just go. And immediately, doubt came into my mind. And I go, really? Like, you said he was going to be healed.
Right.
And I look at him now, it doesn't. Really? Like, what was that feeling? Was that not real? Was it fake? Did I build it up myself? And I left that night thinking like, wow, okay, that kind of stinks. I thought that experience of healing and stuff like that is, like, it's not supposed to end that way. Anyway, the next day happens and it starts. And we do the service or whatever. Then I step out of the church building, and I'm outside the door. I was, like, going to use the bathroom or something or talking to someone. And I heard that they started listing the healings that happened the night before. And I hear someone say something about a leg. And I go, so I run in, and I say something like, what do they say? What do they say? Like, I'm not quite sure. Something about a leg. I go, really? And I'm thinking to myself, is this the guy that healed? So the way to end the story would be to tell you it was the guy. But I still don't know. But thinking about this, talking about it out loud now, I think that's good that I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I should have unwavering faith in God. I don't need to know that was the guy that I prayed for that got healed.
Yeah.
I just gotta have faith that his power is so much greater and that he knows the plans and he knows what needs to happen and he knows who needs the healing and he knows what I need to hear.
Right.
And so I've kind of just realized this now, that I don't need to know that the
Yeah.
guy I prayed for, that the God gave me faith, that I went up and prayed for it, was the guy that got healed.
Yeah.
If it was, that's great. Power to him. Power to God. If it wasn't, who cares? That faith still needs to be unwavering, no matter what the outcome is, because I don't know what I don't know what his will is. I don't know what his plan is.
Yeah.
Also, like, what I kind of was thinking from that is you saw physically he had a crutch or something, you know? You don't know, maybe he had a sickness, or maybe he had something else going on that you just didn't see. And God said, hey, go pray for him.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't even know he had it. Maybe he had something that was just hidden. And you go pray for him, and maybe he wouldn't be alive if you didn't pray for him. If he had a sickness or if he had mental, you know, it could have been anything like that, I feel like. I don't know.
Very true.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I guess that leads me to just like, you know, always be praying and always be there for people.
Yeah. Speaking on that, like the feeling of doubt. So the first thing is, I legitimately was struggling with like 10 out of 10 pride, 10 level pride. Like I was struggling with it.
Prestiged
Like prestige.
twice.
Like
three times.
I was in it. Like you talk about Pharaoh, I could have been Pharaoh. Like I was like crazy.
I was his Pharaoh.
I was his, yeah. And so I was struggled with so much pride to the point where I prayed about it, and I legitimately did not think I was going to get past it. And I remember one night I was playing soccer, and I was just so angry, so frustrated. And we got in the car, and I was just eyes locked in the front, and I just was so bothered. I was so frustrated. Like I could break something, but I'm not that type of guy. So I just didn't. But I was just like looking forward. And then we got home, we parked, and I went straight to my room, and I just started weeping and crying because I didn't understand, first of all, why I was so angry about something so small, but why is this anger so strong? And I was just crying, and I was weeping, and then I got into this point where I was just in a cradle position. And I remember I was there, and I was just weeping, and then I heard a voice saying, if God is real, why hasn't he gotten you out of this situation? And in that moment, I was given an opportunity to fall and be like, yeah, why isn't God doing this? Or why isn't he helping me through this now? Or I could stand up and know that my God has a bigger plan. So I remember I rose up. I did hesitate, but I rose up and I said, the devil is a liar. And I put my hands up, and I've never felt a breakthrough like that ever. And I remember the Sunday coming over, some things happened, and I went to Braedon, and I was like, hey, can I talk to you for a second, with tears in my eyes? And I said, I'm struggling with pride. And everything from then was taken away.
Wow.
Like my heart, I seriously cannot tell you how in the world it's happened. Like it was that crazy. It was like dramatic. And then another thing is, when you were talking about like the doubt and the stuff like got going on, there's been a lot of times where I felt like God has led me to pray with people with like things that were going on. I remember one time it was your arm that God was like, pray for him and you'll see what's going to happen. And I was like, and I was just weeping and crying, just filled. And then there's a time I prayed for Rachel, and I just felt like so in the spirit that something was going to happen at the end. And I've had multiple of that and still have not found that moment where someone was like, oh my goodness, I'm healed. But I think what God has been teaching me is to keep praying, is to continue, because I'm going to see something that I've never been able to see. But there's a story that our old youth pastor or youth leader used to say to us all the time. He said there was one time he went to the DMV, and most exciting place ever, if you've ever been. And he went to the DMV, and he said he was sitting there, and he saw this lady, and God told him to pray for her. He's like, what, pray for her, what? And then so he goes up, and he taps her on the shoulder. He's like, hey, can I pray for you? And she says no. And so he goes and sits down. I believe, right? She says no. Mm-hmm. He sits down, and he goes, what in the world? Mm-hmm. Like, you literally just told me to pray for her. At least let me pray for her. But she said no. And what he said that God taught him was, he was just seeing if he would obey. He was seeing if our youth leader was going to say, yes, God, I will do what you say. So I've been continuing to have that story resonating with me to tell me, hey, there's going to be a time where God's going to say, do this, and you're going to do it, and you might not see anything. Right. But there's also going to be a time where you're going to pray, and you're going to feel God, you're going to feel the presence, and you're going to see a miracle right in front of you. Right. So going along with that. So I feel like you have some crazy thing.
I haven't had anything I haven't seen a miracle, unfortunately. I haven't been a part of anything like that. Yeah. Unlike you, or you've seen, or you believe possibly could have happened, or anything like that. I've been very unfortunate to not have seen anything like that. I've seen like live streams of people getting healed and whatnot. I still pray that my little brother has autism, nonverbal, gets healed. But one thing that's kind of on the more so maybe just supernatural side of things, which was really cool, kind of in private. I haven't told many people this actually, so welcome to my inner life. So when I used to work, I in general, when I have church the next day and whenever, I have an anxiety of oversleeping over my alarm clock. Because you know this, I have a tendency to not wake up to my alarm. He knows that I don't wake up to my alarm always. So I have an anxiety to constantly wake up random times in the night, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., random times. So one night, I kid you not, 3 a.m. 3 a.m., I wake up, my head snaps to the clock. What time is it? 3 a.m. And I kid you, guys, this is actually really crazy. There was a man standing in my room, like glowing. He was looking at my clock. He was looking at my stuff. He was fidgeting with a ball in his hand. He was looking at stuff. I'm just staring at him. It's not fear. Yeah. I don't feel fear. I feel joy just looking at him. I'm just looking at him like I'm looking at the camera. I'm just looking at him. Then he looks over his shoulder, kind of like this. and then he smirks. And he just vanishes before my eyes.
It would have been like really tough if he threw the ball like behind his shoulder and caught it, and then he's gone. And he's gone like that. But
yeah, that's part too. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. One other quick little thing was one time, because in my old church I used to speak to my youth group every once in a while. I was doing a lesson that got laid in my heart called "The Key of David," about how like worship was one of his keys and whatnot, so on and so forth. And I'll never forget, I was up there, and it was one of the craziest experiences I've ever had. No one reacted to the sermon, but when I was up there, it was like, imagine you're wearing a glove. You know how it's like skin tight, right? It was that. I was wearing a glove, but except it wasn't a glove. It was like waves of color, skin tight to me. And whenever I'd move, it would move with my hand. It was like blue and purple. Like I felt something in my hands that night that I've never felt since. The whole time I was up there, I saw these things all over my hand, like sound. Granted, you can't see sound, but just constant just waves of whatever it was. And I was hearing things in the background as I spoke. Those are two of the craziest things I've experienced.
So to like anybody that's not like spiritual, that sounds like schizophrenia to me.
Stop.
But I'm not saying, I'm just saying like, I understand.
Yeah.
But I'm saying to somebody who like doesn't know,
yeah,
that sounds so schizophrenic.
Yeah,
it's
it does.
Funny.
It does actually. You're right.
Yeah. But it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
I want to thank you guys for sharing. It definitely started off talking about shoes and random stuff, and when you're born, you're a day old, 2 days old, 3, and then once it's a year, then you're one.
Then you're one.
Yeah.
Wesley.
See?
That's how it works.
Comment down below what you think.
Shout out, Nikki.
Nikki's just gonna say the opposite of me. It doesn't
Right.
matter.
Anyway, we started out with some pretty crazy things. Maybe not knowing exactly where we went, and where we ended up was definitely somewhere that, if you got to the end, you definitely got a lot taken. You're able to take a lot out of this.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you guys,
Yeah.
both Wesley and Emery. You guys are awesome. We
Yeah.
appreciate you guys being open because, you know, coming in these opportunities or these situations, if you're not open, like nothing will really happen. But when you're open and you let God use you, that's when things happen. And so definitely think that a lot of people can take a lot of things away. And God definitely spoke through this time that we've had together to people that are watching. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So let's not end on a super amazing note. Let's have some fun with it. We'll end with this. What is like your best pickup line? I'll let you think about it. I'll let you think about it. Let me know when you guys are ready, and then Braedon and I will have a conversation. So what's your best pickup line, Bray?
Oh, we're talking about
Yeah,
it?
we'll just
I thought we were
talk.
going to have them do
Oh,
it. And then,
Yeah.
honestly, I think it's all about the environment. The pickup line is all based around the environment.
Yeah.
You know, if you're like playing sports.
It can't be the same pickup line, by the way. You guys each.
You have your conversation.
Yeah. Okay,
if you're
sounds
if
good.
you're playing like sports and like you're playing baseball, you come up and be like, "Hey, can I hit on you?" or something like that, because they'll be pitching and then you hit the ball and you hit their ball.
Yeah.
Be like, "Hey, can I hit on you?"
Or at the
I
end
have
of
one.
or at the end of a basketball game, you take your basketball. You say what do you in this basketball have in common? What do you and I in this basketball have in common?
What?
Let's bounce.
Let's bounce.
And then you go and leave.
Or you be like, "Hey, Shotty, you pretty," and then you shoot it, make it, and you be like, "Sorry, I just got game."
Oh.
So like if you missed,
Okay.
you just look like
Cutie.
No, but you look awesome.
oh my brother, I have a pass. I'm sorry.
No, we'll move on. We'll move on past.
Don't worry,
Alright.
I got you.
Anyway. All right. So you guys have your.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, you guys saying
See.
it together?
No.
1, 2, 3.
See, my pickup line, it's not very like rizzy whatsoever,
That's okay.
but it works, and then you can go from there.
Okay, let's
So what you gotta say is, "Hey, how heavy is a polar bear?" And they look at you and be like, "What?" You say, "I don't know, but it breaks the ice." And then you start talking, and then you say what you need to say.
Okay.
That's pretty. Hey.
That's nice.
Because it's not like then you
I'm
don't,
not
look like you don't look like a creep trying to say something weird, you know. But you break the ice with the person.
That's good.
And you go.
That's good.
That's actually pretty good. Gotta use that. On my girlfriend.
I was gonna say, wait, who are you gonna use it on?
Go up to Kenzie. Hey, you know how heavy a polar bear is? She's like, what? I'm like,
Right, she probably would. Like,
203 tons.
All right.
Emery, what's yours?
so truthfully, I don't really do pickup lines. I'm not like that. I like to straight up
Oh,
strike
they
a
just come up to
conversation.
you?
Sometimes.
But
So, a line that I was kind of thinking of when we were talking was really cheesy, but it actually sounds really wrong. Actually, it sounds like a roast. Wait 1 second. Let me think this through.
He's trying
Okay.
to roast his crush.
Nah. Are you a fallen angel? Because you look as pretty as one.
you what?
You look as pretty as one. I don't know.
You're saying that they fell out of it.
No.
And is that a
I don't know,
demon?
Like an angel?
Or something?
Technically, yes. But not a lot of people know that. Not a lot of people know that. You'd be surprised how many people don't know that.
But imagine she comes to church.
Okay. Then I'm
Right?
scared.
And then your dad is preaching and he goes, "Yeah, fallen angels
Nephilims.
are demons." And she looks at you and go,
What? Hey, so you're from Kentucky?
Yeah.
Why don't you be like, you know I'm from Kentucky? And she goes, yeah. You're like,
Make that chicken. What? I'm from Kentucky. I'm from Kentucky. I can make that chicken. That's all that matters, right? That would work on me if someone offered me like good Kentucky Fried Chicken, right?
I guess that's fair. That's fair.
so I was gonna say, you'd be like, you know I'm from Kentucky. You go, can I take you out on a date?
Ah. No.
It's a little stretch. This guy
Can I tuck you
Kentucky
Can I tuck
in.
you? Hey.
Can I tucky you in? Can I tucky you in?
Can I tuck you in?
Kentucky. I like that.
Can I tucky you on
you
a
wouldn't
date?
do that
Can I
because-
take you on a date?
Yeah.
Can I
like that. I
Kentucky
like that.
you on a date?
I like that.
Then you get a little
Now
accent.
let's see the flow. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Emery.
Hey. What?
You can't do that.
I don't know. I'm bad at role play.
Hey,
Okay, let's try this.
hey.
Hey, Emery.
Hey, what's your name?
Caeden.
Caeden? Oh, it's not gonna work.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Well, hey, thank you guys for sharing. We've had a blast having you on. You definitely have learned maybe what to say, maybe what not to say.
Yeah, sorry.
But, we hope that we fueled your curiosity with their amazing testimonies, their stories. We appreciate you. Make sure you go out today and talk to someone about God. Let them know that Jesus loves them. Make sure you pray. You spend time reading your Bible because that's how you grow your relationship with God, the creator of all things. And it also betters your life 100%. If any sickness, illness, whatever, do this and that'll make you healthier. That'll make you feel better.
And turn on those post notifications and send this to
Subscribe.
how many people?
30.
I think we need 31.
32.
33 shares, actually.
33.
Hey, comment when you share 33 people, and you will be entered to win. You'll be
merch.
You'll be entered to win to be in a video or a podcast if you send it to 32 people. Hey, we'll catch you on the next one.
I think
Peace.
before that happens, you guys need to make a vlog where you go around and do something with somebody instead of just like a podcast. So that's great, but you should make like vlogs and podcasts. You know,
And you could
for
be
like while you're at events and stuff, like BC Pro vlogs while you're at like WIC and stuff like that.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
We're going to have a conversation with you later about
Yeah.
all that.
Nikki
You might
actually
see
brought
some
up the same
vlogs.
idea.
No, she didn't.
No, I'm
She
just
did
kidding.
I watched that one.
All right, hey, can I say it? No, you say it now.
Say what?
Like and subscribe. Send it to
Like
32
and subscribe.
people.
Send it to 33 people, and
We'll catch you on the next one.
catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.